Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to my video. So we're going to be talking about the mass airflow sensor. It's, for the most part, the mass airflow sensor is pretty easy to get to with most vehicles. All right. Normally it's going to be situated somewhere along the air intake, and it's a small little device. All right, and what it does is it essentially measures how much air is being drawn into the engine to make sure that the engine's ECM, which is the control module, which is the computer, has the right balance of air and fuel in the combustion chamber. Now, if the sensor itself is dirty or it goes bad, it won't be able to detect the correct airflow. All right, and when that starts to happen, you're gonna have a lot of issues, which includes starting issues, which includes hesitation. You're gonna get a check engine light, etc., etc. And it could essentially cause a crank no start problem. It could cause a no start problem with your vehicle, and not just for any particular vehicle, but for pretty much any vehicle that has that sensor, and that sensor has been around for quite a while. So normally if you don't know what the mass airflow sensor does, normally what you're researching for is issues with your car that could be related to the mass airflow sensor. A lot of times those issues are essentially connected to hard starts. Your car has a crank no start condition. A lot of these things could be caused by so many other things. However, a lot of times, if you have one of these situations with the mass airflow sensor, normally what happens is you're going to get a check engine light. There's a code for the mass airflow sensor being bad or not working correctly, and there would be error codes associated with that. But essentially, if you're kind of connected, if you're kind of trying to figure out whether the mass airflow sensor is what is causing your car's issues, you probably will need to essentially troubleshoot it to the point where you pretty much narrow it down to the mass airflow sensor being the issue. Particularly if you're not getting a check engine light. Sometimes you won't get a check engine light for it. You might get something like specifically for that. You probably might not get a check engine light specifically for not for the mass airflow sensor. You could get like misfires, check engine lights for misfires and such and stuff like that. And essentially in those situations, there's like so many things that you want to troubleshoot to figure out that the mass airflow sensor is the cause of your problems. But what we're going to do now is we're going to just go down the list of what you can see as far as symptoms of a failing mass airflow sensor. All right, what you're going to get sometimes in these situations is a black exhaust. Get black exhaust, and that is a sign that your MAF, mass airflow sensor, is there's excess fuel, because too much fuel pretty much winds up in the combustion chamber if the mass airflow sensor is not sending the correct information to the engine about how much air is going into your engine. And essentially, the additional fuel can also clog the catalytic converter. If you guys get that instance, that could be your mass airflow sensor going bad. Mass airflow sensors are not expensive. You can get on eBay. You can get it at AutoZone, and and most of the times you can actually swap it out yourself. A lot of times what's going to happen is you're going to get a check engine light, and it's a very common thing as far as a bad mass airflow sensor tripping the check engine light. And why that happens is that the car's computer essentially receives a mass airflow sensor error code because either the mass airflow sensor is not working or it's not reading correctly. But essentially, you can get a check engine light for a variety of things, and sometimes, a lot of times, if you're lucky, it'll have the exact code for the mass airflow sensor itself. Sometimes it won't. However, if you do get the code for the mass airflow sensor itself, it's probably a good idea. It's a really good idea to actually just change it out. All right. Also, you could get hard starts if you have a bad mass airflow sensor. So when you start your car, essentially the combustion chamber needs both the air and fuel for the spark plugs to ignite. If the mass airflow sensor is dirty or it's not working correctly, you might end up with either too much air, and that's going to cause an issue with starting, where your car will crank but it won't start. Along the lines of that, you could get a hesitation issue. All right, if there's an air and fuel imbalance, it's going to cause your car to hesitate or surge when you push on the accelerator and while you're driving. And that hesitation indicates that there's too much air in the combustion chamber, and if it surges, it means that there's too much gas and not enough air. So that could a bad mass airflow sensor could definitely cause that situation to arise. You could also get poor gas economy if your car's mass airflow sensor it's airing towards it being too rich. It would cause too much gas to be burnt in the combustion center chamber, and you notice a significant reduction in the MPG. If you're going to the gas station a lot more often, it could be the mass airflow sensor. But then again, you really want, unless you're getting a code specifically for the mass airflow sensor, you really want to troubleshoot that issue. You could also get a rough idle. Another problem with a lean or rich fuel mixture is idling. If the engine is not getting enough fuel, it'll die roughly. But it will also idle roughly if there's too much gas in the chambers. But just to note that your vehicle should always idle smoothly, and if you have idling issues, mass airflow sensor could be the reason why that's the case. Also, you want to check for trouble accelerating. You're going to notice acceleration problems if you don't have the right balance of air and fuel in the combustion chamber. And this could definitely be caused by the mass airflow sensor because of bad readings. The car's not getting enough. It's not getting enough fuel. It's getting too much air. You know, the air fuel ratio is not imbalanced. That could cause that kind of problem, and the computer has issue balancing the air fuel mixture out. Anyway, you guys have this issue, or if you guys have issues and you guys are looking to see whether the mass airflow sensor is the problem, if you guys do have a check engine light, if you guys get any of these symptoms, definitely use an OBD2 scanner, plug it in. You know, it'll be a direct, easy thing to solve if the mass airflow sensor code comes up. Otherwise, you might want to look at all these things that could possibly be triggering your car's issue, which in result is a bad or faulty mass airflow sensor. If you guys have any questions, definitely leave a question in the comments section. Please subscribe. Please give me a thumbs up. All that good stuff. You guys have any of your own personal experiences with a bad or faulty mass airflow sensor, definitely leave your opinions in the comments section. It might help somebody else out. All right, guys, take care.